Please prove you're a human. To complete your order and prove that you're not a robot, check the box that says, I'm not a robot. I kind of feel bad for the robots here because there isn't a box that says I am a robot, so we don't give them an opportunity to plead guilty and repent, as if there's something wrong with being a robot anyway. One time I had pink eye, I went to the doctor, he gave me an eye exam, I had crust and tears in my eyes, and I swear the letters on that exam were still more in focus than the ones on the test the computers give to us to prove to them that we're human. I mean, why do we have to prove we're human anyway? I guess it's not obvious anymore. An anomaly is something small, subtle, and maybe only slightly out of the ordinary, but it has the potential to radically alter the course of things to come. When the Aztecs first spotted Cortez's ships on the horizon, they probably thought it was an anomaly. But their world was about to be flipped upside down, and what was going to happen had already started. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the burning boat in the harbor this morning, the anomaly I came to spotlight today, is the evolution of human beings into quasi-cybernetic organisms. I call them MetaSapiens. Now, if you didn't catch it, I just said you're a cyborg. But if you're not into sci-fi, you don't know what a cyborg is. So let me back up and review some terminology by introducing you to my best friends as a kid growing up on Star Wars. The short guy is R2-D2, he's a robot. The tall guy is C-3PO, he's an android, which is also a robot, but one that's designed to look human. And this is Darth Vader, he's the opposite. He's a human, but he looks like he's a robot, which makes him a cyborg. A cyborg is a human with robotic or cybernetic parts. Okay, technically he can't be a human because he lives in a galaxy far, far away. And this is a talk about the future, not the past. As a teenager, my favorite sci-fi characters were warping through the Milky Way on the USS Enterprise. This is Captain Picard from Star Trek. He's a human. This is Data. He looks human, but he's not. He's a robot. That makes him an android. And this is Captain Picard again, but this time he's a cyborg. What happened? Well, it turns out in season 3, he gets abducted by aliens, which actually happens a lot in space. These aliens are called the Borg. They're an entire race of cyborgs. They capture Captain Picard, they put a computer chip in his brain, and they turn him into a cyborg. It's kind of like space zombies. Once they grab you, they got you, and once they got you, they turn you into one of them. It's like The Walking Dead, but in the final frontier. And these space zombies are famous for saying, resistance is futile. You will be assimilated. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Yeah, it was a rough day for Captain Picard. But to review, an android is a robot that looks human. But not all cyborgs look like robots. For instance, you don't. Okay, admittedly, when you look yourself in the mirror, you don't see a cyborg, but you do. You just don't know what a cyborg looks like. It looks like you. Then you might say, I don't have a computer chip in my brain, I can't possibly be a cyborg. That's true, but people with cochlear implants do, and you never thought of them as cyborgs either. Maybe you just don't know what to look for. And cochlear implants make people less different, not more. Sometimes being a cyborg isn't about the things you put in your brain, but all the things that you don't put in your brain. So if you got your phone on you, I can give you a quick test to help you determine whether or not you really are a cyborg. If you take it out, you can do it with me. Question number 1. Can you process complex mathematical calculations? Check. Can you download, upload, and store terabytes of data at gigabit speeds? Check. Can you summon anyone, anywhere, anytime, and communicate instantaneously over large distances? Check. Do you ever get lost? Nope. Is that because you can geolocate yourself and others by communicating with satellites in geosynchronous orbit miles above the planet's atmosphere and triangulating your position with GPS? Check. Can you control objects in your environment through the air, like your lights, your TV, your car radio? Sure you can. Does your phone recognize its own face? That's affirmative. When you connect to the Hive, can you hear people's thoughts? Check me out my new pink shoes. I just got a puppy. I like this, I don't like that. I'm in a relationship. Yay, I'm not in a relationship. Boo, what happened? It's complicated. Can people hear your thoughts? Have you ever shared something on Facebook and then unshared it because you thought, oh, I don't want anyone to actually know I thought that? You uploaded your thoughts without thinking, and only cyborgs do that. Do you routinely have conversations with computers, even when you're alone? Are you ever actually alone? Hey, Siri. When you turn your phone off, does it feel like silence? And when your plane lands at its destination, is it the opposite? Do you get a rush from all the text, news, and notifications by disengaging airplane mode and plugging yourself back into the Hive? Almost feels like taking a breath. Folks, we're already cyborgs in function, if not perfectly in form, and Apple is one of the companies that makes our cybernetic devices. It doesn't really matter that we haven't figured out how to put these things in our head yet, because once we can, we will, faster than you could say, iRobot. What's the best way to get to know you? I mean, if someone really wanted to get to know you and they only had an hour, should they go out to coffee and chat with you for an hour? Or would they be better off just drinking coffee and going through your phone? Think about all the things that someone could learn about you by going through your phone. You guys want to have some fun? Yeah. If you take out your phone, we can conduct a quick social experiment. I think you guys are going to love it, and I appreciate you for doing it. Take out your phone, unlock it, and what I want you to do is trade your phone with the person that you came with, and if you came alone, just trade it with your neighbor. Yeah, I'm going to have them go through your text messages, and you go through their photo reel and tell them which is your favorite. I'm just kidding. You'd rather hand your neighbor your underwear than something as personal as your iPhone. It might be better to give it to the FBI than someone you love. Probably get in less trouble. The question I have for you is, if there's so much of you in there, then where are you? All that stuff about you that you put in there, I call that your halo. I want you to think about it as an aura which surrounds your biological body. It's all the stuff online about you. It's the part of you that survives when your body dies. Now, the dinosaurs didn't leave much, just their fossil record. And early Homo sapiens left paintings on cave walls. Van Gogh painted Starry, Starry Night, and Ernest Hemingway left a copy of The Old Man and the Sea. But when you die, you'll leave behind all your pictures, videos, likes, dislikes, everything you ever purchased online, which says a lot about your values, all your email and text communications, where you were, who you were with, and what you were doing, right down to an electronic copy of your calendar, even what you were thinking if you keep a diary. You know what's going to be an easy job in the future? Historian. Indiana Jones is going to be able to recreate your likeness, what you look like, what you sound like, even what words you would have used in any particular situation. Isn't that what Google does when they finish your sentences while you're typing an email? Even what decisions you would have made. Isn't that what Amazon does when they shop for you online? You might not feel that your phone is really a part of you because you're not emotionally attached to it, but you were attached to your baby teeth, and you were happy to yank them out and pawn them off to the tooth fairy for $1 because you knew that they could be replaced. And you know that if you lost your phone, it could be replaced too, because what you really care about is backed up online, in the cloud, on the grid, the digital frontier. Your brain isn't all in your brain anymore. Things you used to keep in your brain, you now outsource to third parties. You don't know the names of the streets of your own town anymore. People used to know that stuff. You don't remember your memories, and you don't have to because Facebook will remember them for you and show them to you. Homo sapien brains are only large enough to manage 150 relationships. That's it. It's called a Homo sapiens Dunbar number. Good thing you're not a Homo sapien, you're a MetaSapien. So that's why you have 1,000 Facebook friends. And you know you don't know them all, and you don't have to because Facebook will remember your mutual connections, how you met in their birthdays for you. As a MetaSapien, you have the increased capacity to process, store, and transmit information because as a MetaSapien, you're not just your body. You're the fusion of your physical body, your cybernetic device, and your halo. It's an extension of your mind. But your phone is an extension of your body. It's not just technology. A computer's technology. You turn a computer on because it was off. But your phone's never off. It's always on. It's always with you, and it's always listening to you. People take their phones into the bathroom with them. They check it during church. People even drive down the street with their phones on the steering wheel. You don't do that stuff with a computer. Half the people in this room last night fell asleep with their phone on their nightstand. The other half of you fell asleep with your phone in your bed with you because you were holding it in your hand when you fell asleep. It's not only you, everybody in the world has got a smartphone. People in remote locations, rich people, poor people, we've all got them, which is why technologies can be built and policies can be instituted, which tacitly assume that a MetaSapien is always in physical contact with their cybernetic device. As an example, when you go to the bank, they won't give you your money unless they can send a code to your left hand and you can enter it in with your right hand. It's called TwoFactor Authentication. The two factors, 1, 2, your biological and cybernetic device. They don't give all your money to half of you. Banks don't have Homo sapien clients anymore. It's why you can't call customer support. They only have MetaSapien clients, which is why they know that you can communicate digitally, so they require you to do so. You have to email, text, and chatbot first. These things are getting closer to us. Bill Gates wanted to put a computer in every house. Steve Jobs wanted to put a computer in every hand. Mark Zuckerberg's trying to put a computer on your face, and Elon Musk has got a company called Neuralink trying to put a computer underneath your skin. We already chip our pets. How long do you think it's going to be before someone realizes that we can end child abduction or human trafficking by chipping our kids? Or maybe we shouldn't chip them. Maybe we should air tag them like we do our backpacks. I'm not advocating for either of those things. What I am saying is that Homo sapiens never had that discussion because there's nothing they could do about it. But as MetaSapiens, we probably could solve those problems pretty quickly if we wanted to. Obviously, invasion of privacy is bad. But kids growing up in a safer world is good. Maybe somebody could figure out how to keep the good stuff and get rid of the bad. How long do you think it's going to be before we all vote that it should be illegal for humans to drive now that we know that machines can do it and they're a lot better at it? With new powers come new dilemmas. We all have the power to speak binary, Bluetooth, and barcode. We have the power to operate as a hive. That's why you know where the police officers are when you're driving down the interstate. The first bee tags them, the second bee verifies them, and the last bee clears them when the police officer decides to move. None of those bees do it for their own benefit. They all do it for the benefit of the hive and all the bees that are going to come after them. But chief among our new powers is the power to summon. We don't have to go places. We can bring things to us. You can summon food with DoorDash, products with Amazon. You can summon information with Google. You can summon transportation with Uber. You can summon people with text message. The new iPhones, if you're in a car accident, they can feel the impact. They can decide something went wrong, and they can act by summoning emergency services for you. It's not going to be long before a MetaSapien's in a car accident, and their biological mind is unconscious, but their cybernetic mind is awake and realizes something was wrong and calls 911. When that MetaSapien has kids, you will see evolution right in front of your very eyes. A MetaSapien surviving and reproducing in a situation where a Homo sapien would have perished. Not only can you summon others, but you have the power to be summoned with calendar invites, dinner reservations. MetaSapiens should never wait in line anymore because we all have the ability to have our devices join an electronic queue and wait for us while our bodies do something else. One of the things I summoned on Amazon was a weight set. It was heavy. It was 300 pounds. I put it in my basement. You know what I do with it? I pick it up. Ha! I put it down. Boom. I pick it up. Ha! I put it down. Boom. I just do that over and over and over again. The problem is, as MetaSapiens, we don't move our bodies. And they were designed to perform under stress. So what they need is time under tension. It's what keeps our muscles from shrinking and our bones from softening. If you've ever seen an old Western movie, right? Every town's got a saloon, a brothel, and a sheriff's office, but no Planet Fitness. Wyatt Earp didn't do Pilates. Cavemen didn't go to the gym. Cavemen didn't have gyms. You know what they had instead? A hard time finding food. You know who's really into intermittent fasting, by the way? Caveman, but not on purpose. Caveman was never wandering through the forest and found a big pile of granulated sugar, but it's tough for us to find anything else to eat. We don't have the same problems. What we have is atrophy and sedentary lifestyles, and the solution for that is Peloton, a company which ships a fake bicycle to your house so you can have the fake experience of locomotion. Virtual reality is the opposite. It's about going somewhere and not even taking your body with you. This is a picture of me in my office climbing a mountain. I took a selfie when I reached the summit. As you can see, it's lonely at the top. As MetaSapiens, we have the ability to be anywhere by going nowhere, so you have to fight that. Not everyone's a cyborg. We don't chip our kids. We know it's not good for their brains. They're dying to have one. Dad, can I have a phone? But the fact of the matter is we know that neurons that fire together wire together, and if they don't fire, they won't wire at all. If we give kids a chip, they won't be able to do math. If we give them ChatGPT, they won't be able to formulate an argument or think critically. If we give them video games, they won't even be able to do cartwheels. The solution is we have to give our neurons time under tension. The problems at the back of the textbook are called exercises for a reason. They're difficult to perform, even tiring to do so, but there's a payoff for doing that, and the payoff is a stronger, more integrated, more complex neural network in our biological minds. We also have to restrict our diet of entertainment. When I was a kid, there was only 3 channels, ABC, CBS, and NBC. But nowadays, if you swallow every piece of entertainment that's available to you, you'll drown in a sea of choices. Your brain will become every bit as sedentary as your body. As MetaSapiens, if you don't fight aimlessness and shallow thinking, you'll have the experience of wandering endlessly through TikTok reels while your brain dissolves into batter. As MetaSapiens, we have the ability to watch everything and see nothing. So you gotta fight that. The last thing you can summon is sex. Everybody here can download a dating app on their phone. You can swipe enough to make a match. You don't even have to leave the chair you're sitting in. If you're willing to wait there, then you could probably convince someone to meet you right here. You don't have to go anywhere. As humans, we used to have to meet in bars. You had to have the courage to come up to someone and the cash to buy them a drink. There was a cover charge for every interaction. You couldn't just buy the whole bar around, and you knew that if somebody walked up to you, they were serious. But nowadays, that's not the case. These dating apps, you could treat them like shopping. You can just sift through the rack until you find a couple things you want to try on, or you can treat them like fishing. You can send 100 messages until someone gets lonely enough to bite. But most of us are 49ers panhandling for gold. We're just sifting through the riverbed looking for something shiny to take home, a diamond in the rough. I hope you're perfect. Because if not, someone can throw you back in the water or just leave you in a pile on the dressing room floor. You can be rejected without someone ever having met you anywhere outside of cyberspace. And what you summon, you don't store. If you summon information, you don't have to save and secure it. If you summon transportation, you don't have to insure the car, change the oil, or fix it when it breaks. And if you summon people, you don't have to have any clue what to do when you find yourself in a broken relationship. In short, You don't have to deal with people's problems. But that's the problem, because relationships need time under tension. It's the mechanism which forces us to grow and mature as people. It gives us skills like commitment, compromise, patience, how to lose like a winner, how to fight and forgive, how to see things from other people's points of view, how to respect people even though they're different from you. Things you don't see that often, which is why society is becoming a social plasma, where we all have a million connections, but none of those bonds are strong. As a MetaSapien, you have the ability to love everybody and be loved by no one. So you got to fight that. We evolved to be creatures that love, form attachments, and miss each other when we're gone too long. Because as cave people, if you lost someone, they couldn't be replaced. It really hurt. You might not even survive. If caveman lost cavewoman, he would be cold, and if cavewoman lost caveman, she would be hungry. Maybe they didn't choose each other, maybe they didn't have much of a choice, but they needed each other. And we don't. So how are you going to respond to that fact? Are we going to treat each other like disposable automatons? Are we going to dilute our friendships by having a million of them? Are we going to have asymmetric relationships? Maybe you like Kim Kardashian, but she doesn't like you. She doesn't dislike you either. She doesn't know you exist. I'm sure she's a lovely person, but wouldn't our time and attention be better invested in someone that might actually leave flowers on our grave when we're gone? What's the point of worrying about a future filled with machines that act like humans if all the humans act like robots? See, when I was a kid, I thought Star Trek and Star Wars were about phasers and lightsabers. I played that in the backyard every day. But as I grew older, I realized it was about seeing humanity through the technology. Because in the background, there were stories about people making connections. People of different races, people of different species, people that weren't even people. A cyborg father who became so robotic he tried to kill his own son, cut off his arm with a lightsaber, but Luke Skywalker looked back up at the mask and he said, "I know there's still good in you, Father. I can feel it." They were together in the end, and Darth Vader became a human again with his dying breath. You don't have to become the person you are, so if you don't want to become a robot, don't be one. We're all undergoing a transformation right now, but as we rise up, if we stick together and remember what makes us who we are in the first place, then resistance isn't futile. So forget about smashing that like button on YouTube. Don't worry about that. Instead, put down your phone and check the box that says, "I am not a robot." And the next time a computer asks you to prove that you're human, do it. Thank you.